Welcome to a very special edition of Manzello Sport Page. We're going to talk basketball, a little bit about the Hounds, a little bit about some of the people associated with the team. And our first guest today is Steve St. Martin. How are you?
Very good. It's good to be here.
Well, you and I, we talked a couple of years ago. The amazing thing about you is the fact of what happened to you. I mean, I go up to cover a basketball game, and you're being monitored on the side because of a heart condition.
Yeah.
Now, how did this take place?
The whole heart stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, my freshman year in college, I went to school in Maine, and I collapsed in the middle of a basketball court. And that's how we really found out exactly what happened. And, you know, I went through a plethora of tests, and then I ended up having a surgery and to correct the problem I had. And then I ended up having another surgery, and during the second surgery, the doctors made a mistake, and it left me what I have today. That's why I was getting monitored on the sideline.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. You know, you'd go out there, play, come in, get monitored, take a break, have a swig of water, and jump right back in.
I'm telling you.
Now that was an amazing thing, and what's also amazing, you're back with the Hounds as an assistant coach.
Yeah.
You've got other duties.
Yep.
And a very inspirational talker, I understand. You do a great job of talking to different people.
Yeah, I'm a motivational speaker. I've been to, all around the country, different colleges, high schools, and businesses, and I love it. It's like playing again, because you talk to a bunch of people and you motivate them to understand the important aspects of life, and so it's a lot of fun. You know, I really enjoy it.
Tell me, when you were being monitored and so forth, were you told not to play basketball?
When I first came back, they just told me it would be impossible because you'd be so tired, you know, and they kind of gave me that you'd be so tired, you'd be so fatigued, you'd be so weak that you're not even going to want to play anyway. So they really never said, like, don't. The only time they ever said it was now, like once the season was over. The doctor I have now, who is Worcester-based guy, he's one of the best, if not the best. Dr. Elias Belezos.
Yeah, sure.
He's at Chadwick Medical Center. He's probably the best guy. I mean, he was my guardian angel along with Serge DeBarry. And you know, he kept me around for the 3 years to play. And you know, his word is gold to me. So when he said, "Steve, it's time to step down," I knew it was time to step down.
Well, you had a shot to play in Europe, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? All of a sudden it's cut short like that.
It's very painful because it's not like it's something I controlled. You know, it's not like I did it myself. You know, it's something that was given to me, and you know, Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away, I guess. So. You know, it's painful. It's painful. Every day you wake up and you know you could be playing, but at the same time, I'm not living with any regret. So I'd rather live the way I'm living now than, you know, live with regret and never try to play at all. You know, so.
Physically, how do you stand today?
It's you know, some days are better than others. You know, I mean, it's tough. It's a tough thing to do. We ought to keep monitoring around. I mean, I got to go in for a checkup next week, do some blood work, do a lot of different tests they do want to make sure everything's fine and stuff. So, and it's tough because I'm only 23. You know, it's not like I'm 83. You know, so you feel like sometimes I feel my youth has been robbed. You know what I mean? In a way.
Absolutely, yeah.
But at the same time, I know I also beat. You know, I also beat out what I had in order to play for 3 years for, you know, under Serge.
Just to be able to play like that.
Oh, unbelievable.
I mean, you know, I don't know what game I was covering, Stonehill, or one of the games down there, and looked on the sideline. They said, "Oh, hey, you know, I didn't realize at the time what was going on."
Yeah.
And Steve explained to me at halftime how they monitored you. I thought that you know, that you were ready to drop there.
Oh,
but you began
brutal.
the second half, and
yeah, it's tough for me because I come out of games. You know, in the beginning I had to get oxygen, and they had to take my pulse and all these different tests that our trainer, who was phenomenal, did. And then towards the end we got new medications that didn't work, and then when we end up figuring out you had to jump rope, like I used to have to stay in shape on the sideline. So I'd come out of a game and I'd be tired, then you go on the side and have to jump rope, and you get more tired and you get back in. So you had to get yourself in pretty good shape, you know. So it was tough. It was tough, but again, the people around me enabled me to be able to do that. I mean, first of all, with Serge giving me a scholarship, which was unheard of. I mean, everybody else was trying to take scholarships away from me and not want to give me one at all. And here's a gentleman who takes over his, you know, program, which is his alma mater, which was 1 in 52 at the time, and the first guy he signs was myself. So
he's one of the million.
He's the best.
Very
he's the
close
best.
and long-time friend of mine. You resign yourself to the fact that you'll probably never be 100%, right?
Yeah, I mean, they told me, you know, they say you'll never be 100% as a player, you know, because the style I play is difficult to play if you're in shape, you know, if you're healthy. The way I used to run around the court and dive everywhere and all that stuff, and And so to do it with the condition I had was even more difficult. So that's why they were like, you'll never be 100% again. And so, I mean, it's a choice you have to make as an individual if you want to go through it or not, you know. And I chose to do it because, again, as frustrating as it can be, you know, waking up every day knowing I could be over, you know, in Europe somewhere or playing somewhere else, or even feeling healthy in general, is probably 10 times more frustrating than waking up with that regret, you know. And that's one thing I can say, you know, I never have a regret. So.
Well, the big thing too, Steve, is the fact that you landed on your feet.
Yeah.
You got a good job as an Assumption.
Yep.
Now, besides coaching basketball, what are your other duties at Assumption?
I'm a resident director there, so basically I'm in charge of a building, and my building is Alumni Hall, which is a freshman dorm. It's co-ed. The third floor is all girls, and the first two are all guys. It's a traditional dorm, and basically in charge of all the operations from the maintenance to students' concerns. So we deal with a lot of different issues. Like I deal with issues from students getting classes to I'm homesick, my boyfriend, you know, all the different emotional and...
They come run at the Father Steve, huh?
Yeah, so, but it's great. I love it. I mean, the kids I have in my building are great. They're great people, so it's a lot of fun.
Well, you're making big money, I understand, as a speaker.
Well, I wish it was big money.
Well, this is Steve Morris, you know, right, our friend up the SID.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
it's pretty good money.
You like doing it, though, huh?
I love it. I mean, I don't do it for the money, and I've been to places where I've done it for free. Like, people always ask me, do you have a set fee? And it's not a set fee. It's basically where you can, you know, what the individual place can afford. I mean, I've gone speaking at the YMCA's back home where they don't have any money. You know, Steve, we don't have any money. So, okay, fine, you know. But I've also gone to colleges and down south where they had a lot of money, and they're saying we can, you know, pay for your trip to get down here and different things, you know.
Yeah.
So it depends. You never do it for the money, you know. You do it for, you know, just for. I really love to do it. You know, it's kind of like playing basketball. Yeah. You know, I didn't play ball to go overseas or for a scholarship. I played it because I loved it. You know, so that's easier that way.
When you talk about motivation, what do you talk about? Do you talk about what happened to you and what you had to do to overcome it and the problems that you had and so forth? Yeah,
basically there's 4 points that I think are keys to life that bring you to a successful person. And what I do, though, I start off by telling the background to how I got to where I am today and all the stuff I had to go through. And then I talk about my 4 points, which I believe, you know, like, again, is successful, you know, to make you a successful individual, whether it's your business, whether it's in your personal life, whether you're a player, whatever. And we elaborate on those 4 points just to let people see that, you know, a lot of people have this attitude that, you know, oh, today's Monday, oh, today's Tuesday, and instead of just, you know, seizing the moment and living each day. And so you can point people and show them the right direction to follow. And once they hear that, they understand that, well, okay, well, hey, listen, things can be a lot worse. You know, where do I want to go? And you just set goals. So you teach them how to set goals, how to have a positive attitude, and also how to feel good about themselves. You know, how to respect themselves, and then at the end, long run, you learn how to face adversity. You know, so it's very interesting, and like I said, I really love to do it. So.
How do you like being an assistant coach?
It's difficult.
A lot different than playing,
right?
Oh,
it's totally different. Totally. As a player, you have to prepare yourself mentally and physically, more so on the physical side. But coaching, you have to prepare yourself mentally and not really that much physically. You know what I mean? You don't have to go lift weights in order to coach, but you have to prepare yourself and the people around you mentally in order to, you know, be successful in the game. So it poses a lot different challenge, and that's what I miss about playing. I used to love preparing myself physically also. You know, you have to get in the weight room, you have to make sure you're in shape, and I miss that aspect of playing. But in the coaching side, I really like it as far as the mental challenges you have to face. You know, how do you motivate people? How do you, you know, get in there and show people, all right, you have to prepare yourself for this guy, you know, using this play at this time. And plus you go out and you scout teams and then you recruit, so it's a lot different. It's a lot more mental than it is.
Now, when you're coaching, do you have to worry a little bit about getting into the mix too much, or everything all right?
Well, as far as, you mean as far as physically?
As far as your business.
Yeah, I mean, that's with anything, though. I mean, you have to, even as a player, I had to watch that. And even as a person, I mean, you have to be careful, you know. That's why I go in for checkups all the time and stuff. So.
Hey, listen now, you were captain of the last team to go to the NCAA.
Yep.
And you were a team that's 8-9 now, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
It's
now watch it. Steve Morris and Serge, you're going to be watching.
I don't know. I mean, I think we have the same guys. You know, it's just somewhere along the line we faltered. You know,
And you're almost in every game.
Yeah, some of them are close. I don't know. I don't know. It's the same guys in the locker room. It's the same message. It's the same coaching staff. Maybe, you know, somewhere it's not getting through.
Well, you can pick it up now and get ready for the playoffs.
Oh, you know, the great thing about it is, you know, we have what, 2 months left.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean.
Then the playoffs.
And then the playoffs, and then, you know, anything could happen. It's a stretch run. I mean, that's what happened with us last year.
And you're in a league where you know you're as good as most of the other teams.
Every
so,
team,
you know.
yeah, it's top to bottom. It's tough. It's competitive every night. It's just, you know, every team's basically even. It's just who's going to play harder that night. Who
You know,
wants
it's the amazing
more.
thing about it. I covered Holy Cross. I covered a lot, but I really enjoy when I covered Assumption.
Oh, yeah.
And the fun down the road and everything else.
Yeah.
All right, listen, stay with us. We'll be back. Good.
This is the story of a place known as the Hidden City. The Hidden City is the biggest city on Earth, even though no people actually live there. But it's filled with the most magical animals in the world. Where is the Hidden City? To find it, you have to look in the land, beneath the sea. The Hidden City is also known as the Coral Reef, and it may be the most important city in the world because more species live here than any other place on Earth. Unfortunately, pollution is harming the coral reef. 70% of it will perish in our lifetime if we don't begin protecting it now, which won't just affect the clownfish, the grouper, or the eel. It'll affect us all, because the reefs sustain the ocean, and the oceans sustain the earth. And some even think that hidden inside the Hidden City may be new medicines and cures for disease. The city may be hidden, but the message is easy to see. Protect the coral reef, and we protect the ocean. Protect the ocean, and we protect the earth.
So welcome back to the second edition of Manzello Sport Page. Hey, Steve St. Martin, great story. Where did you hear about this one? This is really a great one. One of the best we've ever had on. I want you to meet Drew Cooper, the outstanding basketball player at Assumption, on his way to becoming one of the all-time scorers. Drew, talked to Steve Morris. I read a little bit about you. Yeah. Now, how in the world could you get cut 4 years in a row by a high school team in St. Xavier in Louisville?
It just didn't work out for me. It seemed like last year, every year in high school was the same thing. Like I would make 3 or 4 cuts, you know, finally make it to the last cut, you know, thinking to myself, maybe this is the year. But high school coach just didn't like the way I played, I guess. He's a great guy, and he is a good coach. He's well respected down there, and they're always a pretty good team. They always compete, you know, for the regional championship, not so much a state championship. But it just, you know, it never really worked out for me down there. But now I go back in the summertime and I work basketball camps for him at St. X, and you know, we get along. He calls me, he writes me, and he wishes me the best. And he tells me how proud of me he is. And I'll always have the utmost respect for the guy, even though it never really worked out.
Wait. You don't play any high school ball. Now, how do you end up at Assumption College to play college basketball?
Through summer basketball camps, especially at the end of my senior year, I was going to go to a school in Louisville called Bellarmine College, and that was a Division II. We played them this year, earlier in the year, down in a tournament in Kentucky. But anyway, I was going to try to play for their school. I was going to go there and just go to tryouts and try to walk on. And a friend of mine showed me a brochure for a camp. There was an addition to the camp. It was for only graduated seniors who had never been recruited and would like to continue to play because there were going to be scouts there and things like that. So I went to that camp and I played pretty well, and I got my name on a few lists. And I guess Coach Doherty at Assumption saw my name on one of the lists and gave the director of the camp a call, and the director of the camp said, yeah, he deserves a look, and they gave me a look, and things worked out. And it's the greatest thing because if I would have played high school ball, maybe things wouldn't have worked out here like they did. But so I look at it like that. Things worked out for the best.
All right. Let's see. You went home to Louisville at Bellarmine. Is that they call it college? Bellarmine College.
Bellarmine, yeah.
In November.
Yeah.
Your home folks, your coaches, your old schoolmates, and you had 23 points and 14 rebounds in the first game of the tournament.
Yeah. That was a special night. We came back the next day and we lost in the championship game. So we would have liked to get a championship down there, but that didn't work out. But there were actually a lot of people there Saturday night. It was an unbelievable experience. I've gotten a lot of letters, a lot of phone calls, congratulating me on what's happened, and my high school coach was there, so that was pretty good. And I owe Coach DeBerry the utmost thanks for doing that for me, for scheduling that down there. And not many coaches would consider doing that, but he's one of a select few.
Now you're on a list here that's unbelievable. I mean, the all-time leading scorer, Drew Yardley. Then you have number 2, John Grokowski, who went to Assumption and could have played with any Division I team in the country. Then Mike Boyle in another one. And now 4th is Drew Cooper. You got 1,772 points. You're almost sure to pass Mike Boylan unless something happens. This is just unreal. I mean, how can a kid that never played high school ball go on and average 26 points a game? It's just amazing. Did you feel, say your senior year, that you were good enough to play in high school?
That's kind of a tough question. I mean, yeah, I felt I was good enough to be on the team, but I would never like go around saying, man, that's messed up. No. Deep down, I felt, I was.
I mean, you just don't go from being a nobody to going to a couple of camps.
Right. So
along the way, you must have felt that you could have played.
Yeah, I felt I could have played, but I also feel that being cut, my whole senior year when I made up my mind that I was going to try to walk on at Bellarmine, I worked harder than I ever would have if I would have made it.
Yeah.
So that like I said, it
it's
helped.
a coach's decision, and
right.
It probably was a tough one for him.
Right. It was a tough one. He said that I was the toughest player he ever cut. All that, but it made me a better. I really feel that it made me a better player being cut, and it made me a better person too, because it made me learn how to deal with adversity. And
first year averaged 15.6 points a game. Second year 17 points a game. Third year 17.3, and this year you're averaging what, 26?
26, 20. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not 26.
Steve Morris. Right?
He loves to exaggerate things. I don't think it's 26. No. According to Merck, it probably is. It might be 30 by the end of the year with that guy.
Yeah. But this Assumption team, you got enough jet to put it on, and
well, we're 8-9, and we're not having the type of season that we'd like to be right now. But at the same time, it's not over. We still have a month and a half to go in the season. We're 5-4 in the conference. I think we're tied for 4th in the conference, and we're still only 2 games out of first, but we're also 2 games out of last, I think. So it could. I really feel that we're gonna. People at the beginning of the year and even up to now, we're a little bit complacent with last year's success, which is understandable. So as soon as the fire is lit, under us, we're gonna be all right. I think we're gonna. You
can give them a little motivation speech yourself when you get back. Let them know that they're on Great Media 3, and a lot of people in Worcester are watching them, and you're drawing the Worcester fans back the way it was a few years ago.
Yeah, Steve.
And you gotta keep winning.
Yeah, we'll keep winning. It's just a matter of time. We'll I think we're gonna be able to walk away at the end of the season and say that it was a success, you know. So to all our fans, you know, keep the faith. We'll be okay. We'll start winning games.
Stay with us. We'll be back.
This is the story of a place known as the Hidden City. The Hidden City is the biggest city on Earth, even though no people actually live there. But it's filled with the most magical animals in the world. Where is the Hidden City? To find it, you have to look in the land, beneath the sea. The Hidden City is also known as the Coral Reef, and it may be the most important city in the world because more species live here than any other place on Earth. Unfortunately, pollution is harming the coral reef. 70% of it will perish in our lifetime if we don't begin protecting it now, which won't just affect the clownfish, the grouper, or the eel. It'll affect us all, because the reefs sustain the ocean, and the oceans sustain the earth. And some even think that hidden inside the Hidden City may be new medicines and cures for disease. The city may be hidden, but the message is easy to see. Protect the coral reef, and we protect the ocean. Protect the ocean, and we protect the earth.
Welcome back. Final edition of Manzello's Big Thing. We're talking about Assumption, the Greyhound basketball. It's great to see him back on TV, and I just told our good friend Drew to let the people down there know that your players, that they're being watched on TV by a lot of people in Worcester.
Yeah.
So they got to turn it around. First of all, I'm going to ask Drew, how is it playing for this guy?
It's awful. It's really weird because he's actually in the gym this year. Last year as a player, he was always downstairs in the trainer's office with our trainer Susie Lazarus. So we've actually had him in the gym this year. It's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird to have a basketball player down the trainer's room.
Yeah, he didn't practice much last year. So this.
Oh yeah, we know why.
This year he's actually up and doing something in the gym during practice. Yeah. So it's good.
Now what about how is it coaching this guy?
Oh, it's just terrible. I'd rather shave my face with a cheese grater.
What do you do as an assistant coach?
We do everything from recruiting to scouting other teams to, I mean, every day in the gym for practices we break down different things, talk to different players about, you know, correcting mistakes, and so it's a lot of fun. I mean, the guys on staff are great. I mean, from Coach DeBarry, Coach Doherty, Coach Conrad. I mean, 3 quality people to play for and then to work with them. You know, it's a lot of fun. I mean,
yeah. How many full-time coaches do you have?
Just Coach Doherty and Coach DeBarry.
Yeah.
He's the head coach, and Coach Doherty's a full-time
Coach, and you
assistant.
got the other assignments.
Yeah. So Coach Conrad and I mean, it's sad to say. I mean, they put us in there as, you know, volunteer coaches because we don't get a paycheck per se. But I mean, the stuff we do doesn't really make us volunteer. I mean, we do it just as amount as anybody else in the country. So, and probably even more. So.
Well, I'm not going to ask you to go out on a limb. I had Coach Rankins here last year, and he made a statement. And later on, I said to him, "You never make it." He says, "I'm going to be the most surprised guy in the world if we don't make the Final Four." And this and that, remember? Then they went on that losing streak.
Yeah, I never met him. But
Oh,
I
he's a
heard
good guy,
about him.
great guy. I like John. It's just that, just what he said, you know. And I said to him later, I said, "You know what you said there? You told those people you're going to be very surprised if you don't make the Final Four."
I would never make a prediction like that.
Huh?
I wouldn't make a prediction like
Neither
that.
would Serge.
No.
Huh?
No, you just take it one game at a time, and I mean, you know, we have enough talent to get us to where we need to go, and you know, so we'll see what happens. You know.
Is there anything you're short on? I mean, size or anything else? Or
well, I think we have all the key components we need. You know, we just got to put it all together, and you know, guys got to get after it a little more, and you know, we'll be fine if that happens.
What about the two local
Drew.
kids?
If we cut Drew, we'll be awesome.
Like Brochu and Mancini, how are they making up?
They're doing all right. I mean, again, they got to put it together. They had, you know, they have enough talent to get here and also to do very well. But it's just they have to just put it together. You know,
Yeah.
That's all it is. It takes them to put it together. And same thing with the rest of the guys in the team. You know, we have enough talent. We can shoot the ball, you know, better than anybody I think I've seen. You know, besides Merriman.
Some of the weirdest things I ever saw happened with Assumption basketball. You know? Like the day that they were playing AIC, and they were up by a point, and there was like 1 second left, and Assumption was shooting a free throw, and you clear everybody out. They shot the free throw, and don't they foul the guy from AIC? And you know who the guy was? Mario Ellie, the guy's playing the NBA. Clock runs out, he's down there, hits the 2 free throws, they lose.
See,
This is true. I mean, you know,
the
you
Red
get the
Sox.
team, you put them down the other end, you say, don't even go for the ball.
yeah, I guess for a while that was like the Red Sox. You know, it was a curse. It was cursed, but we're trying to turn that
The
around.
Bambuno Chris.
Yeah, we're trying to turn that around.
But what do you think? You think that you have the tools and the skills to turn it around?
I think so. I mean, you know, we did the 3 years previous to this. I mean, we turn it around, and it's just a matter of, like, again, just this year is just putting all those pieces together.
What about you, Drew? How do you feel about it?
I think that we will. We just needed to get, you know, act in gear a little bit. We know we can beat any team in the league. We've been through the league once.
Yeah.
We got 9 more games left, and we know how to win, which is a good thing. We know what we have to do, and I think, you know, I feel that we will do that. We have to do it relatively soon if we're going to make a run at the league, but I think we can still win the conference, the regular season, and if not, you know, maybe we'll still get in the NCAA.
Yeah, a couple of guys were injured too, ain't you?
Well, some guys, I've been in the training room a little bit,
Yeah.
getting some ice, and the guy hurt his knee.
We got a minute left now, right? What are you going to do at the end of the season? Let me know.
What am I going to do at the end of the season?
No, your team.
Oh, the team?
And don't predict you're going to go to the Final Four and win it.
Yeah, we're going to win the national championship and beat the Boston Celtics in the exhibition.
And what do you say?
I say we're going to go back to the NCAAs, you know, maybe the Elite 8.
Nice guy and all. I want to meet your high school coach.
All right, thanks a
for
lot.
joining me. Thanks. See you all next week.